Hey, what's up? It's Knutson from GolfWRX, and I'm back down in the shop. So today we're going to talk about something that gets talked about in the forums a lot, which is wedge stamping. There's a lot of cool stuff on tour that you see on the internet of just really cool wedges with funny sayings, initials, just cool stamping jobs. I know we see them every week from our pictures from Greg on tour, but you can also do them at home as well, and I know a lot of people do. So I'm going to show you how I do wedge stamping. Now, I'm by no means the best at it. I'm probably pretty amateur, as you can probably tell from what we're about to do, but I can at least give you some tips and get you started in the right direction. So the first thing everybody asks is, what stamp set do I need? Now, I've owned a handful of stamp sets. You can get them from Harbor Freight and things like that that are kind of cheap. I use Young Brothers 1/8 inch stamp set. It's a little more expensive, but the letters definitely look a little better. They're a little more crisp. The lines are sharper, and this one seems to last much longer. So I would say spend the extra money, go for like a Young Brothers or something that's a little higher quality, and definitely in the long run you'll notice the difference. So after the stamp set, you're definitely going to need a 3-pound sledgehammer, so a mini sledge, much better than a standard hammer or anything like that. A little more mass to it, gives you that ability to one hit and imprint your letter, number, whichever. So definitely get yourself a 3-pound mini sledge, make your life a lot easier, and you definitely don't want to double hit anything, and then bad looking stamps. Definitely some eye protection to make sure. I've had stuff slip. I've had stamps actually start to deform and bend because I've used them so much. But definitely some eye protection. I like to kind of wear some gloves. These have a little bit of rubber to them. They tend to hold on to the stamp a little better. So the other big thing you'll need is something really hard to stamp on. Now, just a standard wood bench typically doesn't cut it. Just it's too soft. It absorbs some of the impact. I've actually got like a 1-inch metal plate here. I've got it from a buddy of mine out of his garage years ago. He just found it, was going to throw it away. It's probably 18 inches by 18 inches, and like I said, about an inch thick. And it definitely works great to transfer that energy. I use a little double-sided tape over here to kind of stick the wedge, but then I also use a clamp, a wood-style clamp, to actually attach it to the bench so it doesn't move. So I've already attached my wedge here. I just attach it right to kind of the high part of the sole, the back part of the sole, and let it flat. And then, yeah, we're going to go ahead, set the stamp. And now the Young Brothers ones have a little notch to show you which way is supposed to be down towards you. Now some people say put a piece of tape over it and then set the stamp on the tape. It'll help set it and keep it in place. I tried it. I didn't have a whole lot of success, or it didn't make much difference to me. So I just go straight stamp on metal. Now I will every once in a while take a piece of tape and put it, if I want something really straight as a straight line, I will put a piece of tape on as kind of like a guide. But today I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to stamp our GolfWRX.com into this Mizuno wedge, and let's take a look and see how it goes. Now in stamping, you definitely want to hold firmly onto the stamp, but you don't want to like white knuckle it because it will make it harder or easier for that stamp to move around. So what I like to do here is kind of set my first stamp there and then just get it one great hit. And now you want to drive through the stamp because you don't want to have to hit it twice or have a tentative hit that's going to make that stamp bounce on the wedge. So you definitely want to set it and give it one good whack. And one good whack on a forged wedge should definitely get the job done. Sometimes some of the stainless steel cast wedges take a little more force, but again, as long as you're going firm with it, you should be fine. Again, those Young Brother stamps have a nice little notch in there, so I know which way is supposed to be facing me, so I don't accidentally get a letter that's upside down or backwards. But yeah, just keep going through and hitting each one. Now, do remember when you get to like the eyes or a period, something like that, they don't take as much force to make the same imprint. So sometimes you'll hit like a period or an I or an L really hard, and it'll be much deeper than say a W or an M. So just try to keep that in mind as you're going through your letters and putting on whatever you're stamping. But yeah, like you maybe tell, I don't know if you can, but when I go to get to the period in .com, I definitely hit it a lot softer, and you'll see that it's got just as much of an imprint. So yeah, once you get through there, you'll go through and stamp. Make sure your wedge is kind of tight there. But just go through your letters and stamp them on, and then I'll show you also how to paint fill. Now for paint fill, I honestly just use nail polish. I've had great success with it, and I apologize, it's so hard to film by yourself. But I use nail polish, and honestly, it works really well. It dries in like 60 seconds. It's easy to wipe off the excess with nail polish remover. But this is really sloppily done only because I only have one hand. But basically just fill in all your letters with some nail polish, whatever color you choose. I went with Ricky Sunday Orange here because it's basically the first one I grabbed out of my stash. But go through and cover in all your letters, make sure they're fully coated, and then give it about like 60 seconds to dry. It really doesn't take that long with nail polish. You can use enamel paints, and those work great. They probably are a little more durable. Like I said, I haven't had any problems with durability with the nail polish. But let that dry, and then you'll go ahead and take a paper towel and fold it like twice, and then dab it on a little bit of nail polish remover, and then you're going to take it and just wipe it right across the letters there. So real gently, you don't have to press down hard, just real gently wipe it across the letters, and it will all the excess will come off, leaving you with just a fresh, clean, filled letters. So and then just let that dry, and you're good to go. All right, so really that's all there is to it to stamping wedges. Like I said, you can get pretty creative. You can do some pretty cool stuff. If you search through the forums on GolfWRX.com or Instagram, anything like that, you'll see some really cool stuff that's done on tour or by other members who are probably far more skilled than I am. But realistically, just make sure you have a really firm surface to stamp on, get yourself a good stamp set, wear some eye protection, and get yourself a 3-pound mini sledge. And you should be away stamping, customizing, having the coolest wedges in your foursome. So if you have any ideas for me, any questions, leave a comment, and we'll see you next time down in the shop.